Good morning, Bitcoin truth seekers. It is Thursday, September 7th, 2019. It's 7:16 a.m. here in Arizona. Today, well, a bit of a dump day. So, let's go and look at that first. Here we are. Bitcoin on the 45-minute chart. The most immediate price action that I look at is the 45-minute chart, and this is the 200 moving average here, the white trend line. The white moving average is the 200 moving average, and as you can see, this morning we went below the 200 moving average. That's in general at least immediately a bearish signal. The ADI or ADX is trending up as the price trends down. Whenever I see these two facing each other, when you have the price action going down and the ADI going up, well, that's usually not a good sign. ADI or ADX tends to be a signal of velocity, as I call it. You can look it up. It's pretty interesting indicator, but basically when your price action is going up and your ADI is above 25 and moving up, that's good. But when it's above 25 and moving up as your price is crashing, I just call that velocity in the wrong direction. So this morning had a bit of a dump. Now let's look at the big picture. This morning, dump. Now, as the SPX, the S&P 500, this morning, it's a green candle so far, and the MACD is looking good. Had a red candle close yesterday. Let's see if we'll have a green candle close today. We have these small dojis going on, and the reason that I have these circled is whenever we have a couple small dojis in a row, or even one or two, we tend to change direction. So let's see, is the S&P 500 going to continue up or start moving down? The MACD does show positive, so we'll see. The Russell 2000 index, red candle today, but still trending up. The SPX and the RUT will probably follow each other, so the S&P 500, if it does start to trend down, definitely will take the Russell with it. Let's see how they do. Today, red day. Bitcoin down about 1.44%. We're at 91.92. ETH is down. XRP, EOS, LTC, and NEO. Actually, NEO is the big failure today, down 10%. Where is Tether going? 1.85 billion into Bitcoin, 778 million into Ethereum. The Masari.io indicators here. Let's look at this. These guys give everybody a hard time, but they are honest. 165 billion market cap and real volume of 246 million. That's below 300 million, which is like what I like to see for a mediocre day. So today we're in the red, kind of a red market, red Bitcoin. Definitely a break below the 200 moving average on a very short time frame. So, but we are possibly recovering. So let's see. At least this morning we're waking up to a red market and definitely low volume. Now, Bitcoin dominance, 69%. Total altcoin market cap, looking at a bit of a dump today. Got a red candle there on the daily. We're at 73 billion. Let's look at shorts versus longs. A summary of Bitfinex, BitMEX, and Binance shows 63% longs and 36% shorts. Bitfinex and BitMEX both have more longs than shorts, and Binance has more shorts than longs. I'm going to start looking at Backed, just because, like Backed or not, it is a player in the market. So today's volume so far is 313 BTC. Last traded at 9,218. On the weekly, something that I do note that is good, we do have this, as I call it, as I'm seeing it, a large bull flag going down here on the weekly. But what I'm noticing on the weekly that I really like to see here is looking at the MACD. We are ultimately, the histogram is starting to close. Right now the weekly MACD is negative. The MACD is below the signal, the blue line. The blue trend line is below the red trend line. That's the signal. So, when you have a negative weekly MACD for Bitcoin, it does tend to be a bit of a black hole pulling it down. Of course, the daily MACD will turn around first and is an indicator of where things are going, but We do have a closing histogram. We do have the MACD starting to move towards, starting to close that gap, moving up towards the signal. And if we can get a nice, once we get in that direction, if this guy can turn around, which it is, I mean, it's closing the gap, and we get a nice, beautiful trend like this. Let's my brush here. As you can see here, once we can get that nice turnaround, once we get this nice, I should use an arrow, would work better. There we go, arrow. Once we get this nice angle moving that way, so once this guy here can, this MACD here can get that angle changed, as soon as we do start to turn up, even before we get across positive, I think we'll have a better daily Bitcoin performance. So this trend line, I'm sorry, the MACD is beginning to move positive. That histogram starting to close. So I think that will begin to affect the daily price action soon. So we shall see. With that MACD turning positive, as we can see here, even if it's slight, there we go, see the histogram there, we're starting to turn positive. And so as we do, I would expect maybe we'll break this bull flag pattern we have on the weekly, and maybe we will start to move up. Everyone knows the target that I'm looking at. We shall see. On the daily, we are above all the moving averages to me that really matter. If we look here, I'm going to zoom right in so we can see clearly. We are above the just the 200 moving average. We're above the 21 weekly EMA, and we are above the 50 EMA. So we're above all the moving averages to me that are really important. We did, if you can see, we did wick below the 200 moving average this morning. It was, so far it's been a bit of a dumpy morning on the daily, definitely a red candle. And of course our resistance above our heads, that's really, that's what Bitcoin has been working on the daily recently, is 9,400. So that's where we're at. We are at least, positively above the MAs that matter. And if we do look here on the hourly chart, I'm sorry, daily chart, I do see that same bull flag type of pattern as referenced here. As referenced here. So let me take a look at the daily MACD. Daily MACD here is beginning to turn negative. It's been positive, but it's moving towards the negative. That's probably especially affected by the dump that we had this morning of a few percent. So we should just keep an eye on this. Bitcoin has really been in a bit of no man's land the last couple days, if not a week or so. So looking here at the 4-hour chart, I do see us between two major areas of buy-sell support here on the VPVR, and of course previous support and resistance in the chart. So really we're right in the middle there between 8,000 and 10,200. But if we do see this as if we do move our trend line here, so looking at that, you can see this is a continuation pattern. We've gone up with the flagpole there, and we're wedging down, getting tighter and tighter. I would predict a breakout, which we've already really had here. You can see it. So all a matter of if we continue that, we shall see. Again, this morning we did see a dump of a few. Let's see what that dump actually equaled. So if we kind of go from, let's just say, here to here, a dump of 1%. Maybe 2 at most, really. I could start from up here, I guess, if I wanted, and just say we had a dump down to about, of at least 2% or more. Let's see if we recover today. The sour indicator is showing some green dots here, so maybe we'll see a turnaround. Let's look at the let's look at the 2-hour chart here along the same lines, and let me actually look at a different template. And on the 2-hour, we are still, of course, above the 200 moving average. We do have green super guppy EMAs going. Let's look at the MACD. The MACD is negative, but on a nice note, we do have one. We've gone from red to pink. on the histogram, so maybe we'll see a turn up. But right now, the immediate price action is dump, and at least there is some sideways now, so maybe Bitcoin's gotten out of its system. We shall see how it goes today. Big news, none today really. Would you like to be almost pooping Bitcoin? I do. Whether it's a bear market or a bull market, I make money trading in and out of alts, and where I learned really to be effective is here at Blockchain Education. Been a member for over 2 years. There's a great affiliate link I've got in the show description. It's a nice discount. You can hop in. I'm Cowboy Craig in the chat. There's a hybrid, basically a hybrid trading system you can get in where it will auto entry you into trades that I find to be quite profitable. Of course, you can do that manually. You have to opt into that. And there's a great community 24/7 chat where you can, as you're learning to trade, or if you already know how to trade, or as you're learning to get better at it, you have people of all different levels, but definitely experts in the trade chat that can help compare charts. And I find this has really been my greatest when it comes to trading and learning how to do TA. I mean, I've learned from a lot of different sources, but this is the most effective. This is where I really have learned. You can just sit back, chill, and you can watch videos that go over the blockchain education trading methodology, and I can say, at least for myself, it works very well. As always, like, share, and subscribe, and comment. Take care. See you again tomorrow.